I've made little to no progress on the dining table lately because I've been building these for a client. Anyone know what these are? I'd be interested to see some guesses in the comments. But I am able to show you the side rails that hold the slats with the pattern cut in that I showed in the last video, the twisted table 2. Now this picture shows them at 90 degrees and all straight across, but as you'll see I did something a little bit more complex. But the first step is to mill up lumber for the rails, and I have a bit of a twist that I need to knock out, and it's too large for my 6-inch joiner. So I knocked a twist out with a scrub plane. And I've decided this really is my preferred method to mill up lumber. It's really fast. You don't have to have that surface very flat to register well on the planer. And I probably won't ever upgrade to a larger joiner. I check for twist with the winding sticks. And then it's off to the planer to flatten it up. Simply flip it over to take the rough milling marks that the scrub plane leaves. This works well. I ripped the size on the table saw. Now I mark each of the edges that will define the side of each of the 48 slats on the rails. As I mentioned, I didn't want to simply have them all going 90 degrees. I wanted to have those angles change subtly and gradually in a symmetric fashion as you progress through the slats. This will make more sense in a second. So I made this contraption that would hold the router but also allow me to vary the angle of approach. Now it's only, the most extreme angle is only a couple degrees off of 90, so it's not a dramatic effect, but it's enough to notice. And I drew out a little chart to show the changing angles. So I set this fixture, jig, well, you guys can tell me which one it is, I never know, up on the rail, clamp it into place using that edge that I defined for the slats and with the appropriate angle set, and I make 3 passes with the router to remove the material. And when that's finished, I set the new angle. It's a subtle change. Each change is subtle, but it does end up causing you to have variable angles throughout the length of the rails. Set it up in the next position. And clamp it back in place. This is what I'm looking at. Make my cuts again. Now just looking at it, it's hard to tell that anything's different about those grooves that I've cut. So I wanted to try to demonstrate this even though the table's obviously not finished yet. So I cut some sticks to put into those slats and make the changing angles a bit more dramatic. And when you look across the length of those, you can see that there is a changing angle. There is about the most extreme, and they straighten back out towards the middle, and then they'll be bowing back to the right again and straightening back out. So I think this really should work well with the pattern that I cut in the previous video, just to give it a bit more visual interest and overcomplicate things even more. So hope you enjoyed. More to come, folks.